All right, let's just jump right in. We're not going to talk about the hottest new framework today or some must-know coding language. Nope. We are getting into the one thing that will actually make or break your success as a tech beginner. See, it's not really about the code you write. It's all about the mindset you bring to the table.
And I'm serious about this. If you take one thing away, let it be this. Because it's not about memorizing syntax, you know? It's about how you think when things get tough. It's about being consistent when you feel like quitting, and it's your whole approach to learning. If you can get these things right, trust me, the code will follow.
So, let me ask you, what do you think is the hardest part? Really? Is it trying to master JavaScript? Or maybe untangling all that cloud stuff? Or how about that first absolutely terrifying pull request? Yeah, those are tough for sure. But the real challenge? Well, it's something else entirely.
The truth is, the biggest battles you're going to fight are all internal. It really comes down to the mindset you bring to the problem and the consistency you can maintain day in and day out. And why is that? Well, think about it. You can always look up a technical answer online, but you just can't Google your way out of a bad mindset. That's where the real work happens.
Okay, so let's tackle the first major hurdle. This is a feeling that hits pretty much everyone. I'm talking from brand new junior devs all the way to senior engineers. But it is especially brutal at the start. You might already know it. We're talking about the imposter.
Imposter syndrome. That little voice in the back of your head, right? The one that's always whispering, you don't belong here, or any minute now they're going to find out you're a total fraud. Sound familiar? Good, because feeling this way is completely 100% normal.
This right here, this is the critical reframe. I really want you to let this sink in. Feeling like you don't know enough isn't some sign that you should just pack it in and quit. It's actually proof that you're pushing your boundaries. It means you are in exactly the right place to grow.
So it really just comes down to how you decide to see it. You can see it as this heavy, discouraging weight, or you can flip the script entirely. The next time that I don't know enough feeling hits, let that be your cue. Use it as fuel to ask one more question, to read one more piece of documentation, or to tackle one more tiny bug. That feeling isn't failure, my friend. It's the friction of learning.
Okay, so we've worked on our mental game a bit. Now let's get practical. Let's start assembling your learning toolkit. Think of these as the strategies and the gear you're going to use every single day on this climb.
Tool number one is all about active curiosity. Look, tech moves incredibly fast, and so your learning can never really stop. This means you have to actively seek things out. Follow developers who are way smarter than you, subscribe to newsletters, dive into tutorials. It's not a passive thing. It's a habit you have to build to keep your skills from getting stale.
Now, this might just be the most important tool in your entire kit. Seriously. So many beginners burn out because they spend days stuck on a single problem, too afraid to look dumb by asking for help. Please, do not do this. I absolutely guarantee you someone has solved your exact problem before. Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It is the smartest, most efficient way to learn.
You can't learn to swim just by watching videos, right? You actually have to get in the water. And it's the exact same with code. Tutorials are a great starting point, but the real deep learning, that happens when you start building your own stuff. And please remember this. The goal is not a perfect project. The goal is a finished one. That's how you really make these skills stick.
And finally, the superpower, learning how to learn. This is such an underrated skill. It's all about becoming an expert problem solver. It means getting comfortable reading documentation, becoming a master at Googling your error messages, and seeing a complex problem not as some giant wall, but as a series of small, solvable steps. This skill is way more valuable than any single programming language you could ever learn.
All right, if you only remember one single thing from our time together, please make it this. This right here is the master key. This is what separates the people who flourish in this industry from those who just burn out.
Just think about the difference for a second. Intensity, that's that frantic 12-hour coding binge on a Saturday. Yeah, it feels super productive in the moment, but then you burn out and you don't even look at your computer for another week. Consistency, on the other hand, is just showing up. It's that slow, steady, daily practice. It's not flashy, but it is how you build something that actually lasts.
And we're not talking about some huge, life-altering commitment. We're talking 1 to 2 hours a day. That's it. But that small daily deposit into your knowledge bank, oh, it compounds. What feels painfully slow in week 1 becomes this massive advantage by month 3. It is the most powerful force in learning.
Okay, so you've got all these tools in your kit. Let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle. This is your North Star. This is the big idea that's going to guide you when you inevitably feel lost or completely overwhelmed.
This is so incredibly important. You are going to look at developers with years and years of experience and feel hopelessly behind. But you're not seeing their whole journey. You're not seeing their failures, their late nights, their own brutal learning curve. You have to focus on your own path. Ask yourself, are you better today than you were yesterday? That is the only comparison that matters.
And all of this requires patience. You have to be patient with yourself. You will be confused, you will get frustrated, your progress will feel painfully slow at times. I need you to know that this is the path. This is what the journey looks like for everyone. It's a slow, gradual climb, not a sprint to the finish line.
So, let's just bring it all together. Your success in tech isn't going to come down to how many languages you know. It's going to come down to your mindset, your consistency, and your willingness to just keep learning, especially when it feels uncomfortable. Because that discomfort, that's the feeling of growth.
So I'll leave you with the challenge. Forget about next month or next year. Just focus on this week. It could be coding for just 1 hour, or asking one question online, or pushing one tiny little commit to your project. What is the one thing you will commit to practicing consistently starting today?